Wait a second, Billy's reviewing the Sonic movie? I'll have to message him to see if I can join in on the fun.
Hello?
Billy, are you reviewing the Sonic movie? I saw one of your recent tweets.
Yeah, I'm guessing you want to be in it?
Why would you want to hog all the fun?
My other movie reviews say otherwise. Whatever, sure, you can join.
This has been a long ride for the Sonic movie. Back in 2014, the film was announced to be created by Sony Pictures. This meant that the film was supposed to be released sometime around 2016, for the 25th anniversary of Sonic. Then, the movie was delayed to 2018. After reconciliation, Sony transferred the rights to Paramount Pictures. This caused the movie to be delayed another year.
Put to direct the movie was Jeff Fowler, marked as his first ever movie as a lead director, as he was known before for being the producer on the Fast and Furious movies. The cast ranged from different actors: James Marsden, Tika Sumpters, Ben Schwartz as Sonic, and Jim Carrey as Eggman. Then on December of 2018, we got our very first poster with a tease of what Sonic will look like in the movie. And, well...
This design really fucking sucked. What drugs was Paramount on to consider creating a sleep paralysis demon such as this one?
The design from the poster had some kind of change in the first trailer, but I wouldn't say that's for the better.
Meow? Oh, come on.
Luckily, they got their act together and redesigned him to look as if it never happened. But it also caused another delay, which I thought was acceptable.
Yeah, I wouldn't want the effects people to be rushed and shit. This ain't Toy Story 2. The reactions from critics were seemingly mixed, but audiences loved it, and that's including Sonic fans. Now let's get into our thoughts on the movie. Is it as good as audiences say it is? Is my 15-year-long wait worth it? Let's take a look.
The story of this film involves the origins of Sonic and Eggman. At the beginning of the film, Sonic gets the spotlight. He is in his own world, and he is a child. Then, he is confronted with a situation that requires him to travel to Earth. After that, 10 years pass by. The next scene shows Tom Wachowski, played by James Marsden. He is waiting by the roadside with his radar gun. Sonic, played by Ben Schwartz, speeds by, and Tom is confused with the reading that the radar gun gives off. He exits his car to find one of Sonic's quills lying on the ground.
We see that Sonic is enjoying his time on Earth. He lives in a cave with all sorts of stuff to do. He watches over the citizens of Green Hills, yes I said that correctly, but without them even seeing him, and even feels lonely at times. One night, Sonic plays a game of baseball with himself, and then afterwards he causes a major blackout across the entire Pacific Northwest. The government talks about what they can do, and it leads them into using someone who knows what to do, introducing us to Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey.
Then, Sonic goes into Tom's garage to hide and try to escape to another world. Tom bursts through the door just as Sonic was going to throw his portal ring, which causes Sonic to freak out and freeze, which in turn, he gets shot by Tom with his tranquilizer gun. Afterwards, we see Sonic passed out in Tom's house. We then figure out the government is now after Sonic.
Robotnik shows up at Tom's house and looks around. He finds the quill of Sonic's and threatens Tom if he doesn't tell him where Sonic is. Sonic comes out and both Sonic and Tom make a run. Tom agrees to help Sonic out get his portal rings back. And so throughout the rest of the movie, it's Robotnik tracking down Tom and Sonic, and the two going on a road trip together and to become good friends.
The story for this film was more meaningful than I expected it to be. My lower expectations for this movie made me have a negative mindset for the film. But I was pleasantly surprised when I watched the movie with two of my friends on the 14th. There's plenty of jokes and action for children and adults alike. There are flaws with this film though. It isn't perfect, but I think for what it is, it does everything just right for the audience.
As you all know from my thoughts videos, I felt I was going to enjoy this movie from the start. I may have had a few minor criticisms to the movie, like a certain joke and characters, and even with it being the plot of an alien-like being not from this world and being tracked down by the government. And making a friendship with a human. Like, it can be compared to stories such as E.T. But later down the line, we got to see more of the movie's plot, and you can tell there are some major differences. Like, we get to go on a road trip with Sonic and Tom, all the locations we get to go to during the third act. The comedy is great. While there are jokes which would have been best to keep out of the movie, at least they weren't all up in your face. The action sequences are awesome. Seeing Sonic run so fast and all the chasing we get makes this a blast and intense. If there's one complaint I have on this movie, it's that the story was predictable near the third act. I mean, we had the freaking trailers and TV spots show off moments that gives the idea of certain things, but you can tell something was going to happen, but it's done better here.
Sonic and Robotnik really stole the show here. They both had their own styles of comedy. Ben Schwartz as Sonic, with his teen-like arrogance, manages to act like the cocky character that he's known for being. The tone that Schwartz sets for Sonic, and was well suited for the character. Jim Carrey, as Robotnik, sets the stage differently for his character. He acts more like a know-it-all, and a little aggressive at times. James Marsden, as Tom Wachowski, is Sonic's friend in the movie. Tom was properly tied with Sonic emotionally. This created a bond that I enjoyed out of the film. Tika Sumpter as Maddie wasn't really involved in the plot. I feel like she was just filler for the story. But her purpose makes sense because of her interactions with Sonic. Lee Majjoub as Agent Stone only appeared in a few scenes. He doesn't really meet the requisites for being Robotnik's sideman in my opinion. All of the other characters in the film were interesting for the moments that they appeared.
All the characters to me had something to offer in this movie. James Marsden as Tom was pretty decent, while I think James's performance was similar to his performance in Hop, but I can say for sure that I'd rather have this performance as Tom instead of whatever his character's name was in Hop. And the interactions are pretty great between Sonic and Tom. Tika Sumpter as Maddie, I can agree with choosing, wasn't very needed. While I do like her moments when she's with Sonic, I felt like maybe they didn't really need her. I will say the performance from Tika Sumpter herself is enjoyable, and doesn't feel lifeless, which is what I was worried about the most. Then there's Lee Majjoub as Agent Stone. Like what Choosing said, I found him to be kinda weak. Like, the performance is good, but I don't find Agent Stone very useful in this movie. He does bring out some nice humor though. All the other characters in this movie are mainly there to crack open a joke with other characters on screen, and while that's great of them, there isn't much to them as well. They're only there just to make the plot move forward, and that's all you really need from them. Now we're on to our two main characters, Jim Carrey as Robotnik and Ben Schwartz as Sonic. Jim Carrey brings back the classic comedy that he had from his heyday on movies such as Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, The Mask, and even the live-action Grinch. Knowing that Jim had a lot of fun being Robotnik in this movie, I knew he would be a blast throughout the whole movie. There were times he said something like the character in the games, and I loved that so much. I love every second of Jim Carrey as Robotnik in this movie. One of his best performances yet. Not the very best from him, or even the best portrayal of the character, but it's up there. And then there's Ben Schwartz as Sonic. I love him. Sonic is so much fun throughout the whole movie. I like where his character was going in the story, since this is an origin story, and I can really feel for Sonic in this movie. Ben's performance as Sonic is top notch. I freaking love Ben as Sonic throughout the movie. I think he rivals Ryan Drummond as my favorite Sonic portrayal. It's that good. Now let's move on to the visuals. Before we talk about Sonic, let's talk about the other bits of visuals. Sonic's homeworld is freaking beautiful. Like, this is something you can get out of a fully animated movie, if they wanted to make one. Robotnik's robots while they are generic looking, they do fit in the setting very well. And all the effects going on during the action sequences are freaking cool. There are also other CGI characters in this movie, but I'm not going to go into detail about them. All I'll say is, they look pretty good, and they were only on it for like a small amount of time, like 2 minutes. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good stuff, in my opinion. And of course, there's Sonic himself. Oh my gosh, he looks so good. Sonic has so much expression and life. I'm very thankful that Sonic got redesigned and looks this good, instead of that train wreck of a design that we got in the first trailer. I mean, look at it compared to this. See the difference? Oh yeah, and Baby Sonic. Yeah, just the same as I thought it was in my thoughts video on Baby Sonic. He's cute.
The visuals to this movie are gorgeous. Sonic's homeworld. Oh my god, it looks so vibrant and filled with life. Baby Sonic is just so adorable. Baby Yoda and Baby Peanut have nothing on Sonic. Even if we see it for a couple of minutes, it's amazing.
The music in this movie was composed by Tom Hollenberg, or mainly known as Junkie XL. The work he does here is fantastic. All his pieces fit the movie so well, and it feels like the kind of music I'd expect from a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. There were some famous songs used in the movie too, and they were used at the correct times they'd used them in, which is a plus in my book.
As Billy mentioned, there were famous songs that were used in this movie. Such songs are Don't Stop Me Now by Queen, Boom by X-Ambassadors, Where Evil Grows by Terry Jacks, and many more. These tracks actually managed to fit in the movie quite well. I never felt as if they ruined the tone of the movie. Also, the movie's soundtrack had surprises. You can tell they were passionate with Sonic as a character.
Okay, so we're gonna go into spoilers for the moment. So if you haven't seen the movie and you want to avoid spoilers, I highly recommend you skip to this point of the video. Still here? Okay, let's continue. So first off, before we get into the major bit, Sonic flossed in the movie. Okay, I did cringe to that when I saw it, but seeing how Sonic was with him referencing modern day stuff like Amazon and such, it would make sense that Sonic would floss. He does it twice in the movie, and the time that he does it the second time, I felt happy for him because of the moment that was happening when he did it. Jim Carrey turning into the Mad Doctor himself at the end, going full on Eggman with the voice and how he looks, was awesome. Even if it was at the end of the movie, but I pretty much expected that too, and plus, it was at the end of the first trailer, so yeah, what much can you do? Gets you hyped for a possible sequel. And then, the mid-credits scene. Tails is in the movie! And he's voiced by Colleen, who voices Tails in the games currently. So it was great hearing her voice, even if he was only in the movie for 30 seconds. And he looks so good! I wonder, if this was going to be in the movie to begin with, would Tails have looked differently? I'd rather not think about that now.
Sonic also has some really heartfelt moments in this film. In one part, Tom influences Sonic to create a bucket list. Tom ends up reading it, and it shows, "Make a real friend," as one of the things to do. It was so sad. Also, when Sonic goes onto the baseball field at night, he ends up realizing how alone he truly is, which in turn shows us how he gets his powers. But Sonic flossed, as Billy mentioned, and I definitely cringed. I'll let it slide for this blue blur.
Oh hey, non-spoiler people, you're back. Okay, let's wrap up this review with our overall thoughts. Overall, I love this movie. This is the kind of movie I have been waiting for. It has Sonic, it has action, it has comedy, it has heartfelt moments. It's the kind of thing I'd expect from a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It's exactly how I wanted it to go. I was in tears of joy for how much I really enjoyed it. I don't normally do movie scores, but if I had to give one out of 10, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. I highly recommend that you watch this in the cinema the moment you can. I hope we get a sequel. The movie is doing so well in its opening weekend, you'll have a great time watching it.
Overall, for myself, this was a really well-made film. Going into it, I thought this would be horrible, but I can't believe that it turned out the way it did. Fans alike definitely believe that this was amazing. Children will also have a liking for the movie. It had everything going against it, but ended up having everything going for it. If I had to give it a score out of 10, I would give it a 9. Easily.
Well, that was pretty fun to do, and thanks for being in the review choosing. I'll leave a link to his channel in the end screen annotations and in the video description below.
No problem, man. And for those new to Billy, subscribe to his channel.
Alright, take care, man.
Hey guys, this is Choosing here. I just want to thank SpeedForce Productions, or Billy, for letting me collaborate with him on this video. I'll have a link to his channel down below in the description. And also, he has his own separate video, so go watch that too. It would mean a lot to me and himself. After all, it did take him a while to edit most of this video. Anyways, I hope you guys liked the Sonic movie as much as we did. Thanks for watching.